It was a chilly fall evening, with leaves barely hanging onto the trees. Brian Whitaker sat in his small, messy studio, surrounded by cameras, microphones, and glowing computer screens. He used to look excited and full of life, but now he seemed pale and tired, almost obsessed. Brian was a YouTuber who made videos about creepy stories and spooky stuff, streaming late at night to his fans. They loved his scary tales, but tonight, he was about to try something dangerous, something that would change everything. His studio was packed with gear, cameras watching quietly, microphones ready to catch every word, and a laptop buzzing with the attention of his fans. Thousands of people were watching, their usernames popping up in the chat like ghosts at a spooky gathering. Tonight, Brian was going to try something wild, a ritual he'd read about online called the Ritual of the Hollow Veil. From bits and pieces he found on creepy websites and strange emails, Brian learned about this old ritual. It was supposed to call up a creature called the Veiled One, something not alive or dead, that could drive you crazy just by looking at you. To do it, you needed a mirror, a candle, and some weird words you had to say at midnight when there was no moon. Brian, always wanting to put on a good show, got an old, dusty mirror and a black candle that seemed to suck up the light. As midnight got closer, Brian set up his camera, his hands shaking with both fear and excitement. "All right, guys," he said, his voice smooth but nervous. "Tonight, we're going to do something crazy. I'm going to try this ritual for you. Ready?" His fans went nuts in the chat, typing things like, "Do it!" and "This is gonna be epic." He lit the candle, and its flame was a weird green color, making creepy shadows dance on the walls. The mirror in front of him looked dark, like it didn't want to show his reflection. Brian took a deep breath and started saying the strange words. "Shadow calls, light breaks, open the door, Veiled One, come." The room felt heavy, like something was watching. At first, nothing happened. The chat got annoyed, with people typing, "Is this fake? Where's the scary part?" But Brian kept staring at the mirror. Then, something moved in it, like a ripple in water. The candle flickered, even though there was no wind. When Brian's reflection finally showed up, it wasn't right. It looked like him, but the eyes were empty, like black holes. The chat went quiet, as if everyone watching felt the same cold fear Brian did. "Who are you?" Brian whispered, his voice shaky. The reflection grinned, a horrible smile, and spoke in a way that wasn't a sound, but a feeling, like something heavy pressing on his chest. "I'm the one who watches. You called me, Brian, and now I'm here." The room got darker, and the computer screens started glitching, like they couldn't stay connected. Brian grabbed his desk, trying to feel something real, but even the wood felt fake, like the world was falling apart. "This isn't happening," he said, trying to sound brave. "It's just a story for the stream." "A story?" A voice cut him off, sharp like a knife. "You brought me into your world, to all those people watching. Look at them, Brian." Brian didn't want to, but he looked at his laptop. The chat wasn't just text anymore. It was faces, all his viewers, looking terrified. Their eyes were empty, just like the reflections, and their mouths were open, like they were screaming, but no sound came out. The viewer count kept climbing. 10,000, 20,000, like the stream was taking over every phone and computer in the world. Brian tried to scream, but it got stuck in his throat. The Veiled One wasn't staying in the mirror. The candle went out, leaving only the dim light from the laptop. The reflection stepped out of the mirror, but it wasn't just a reflection anymore. It was tall, skinny, and wrong, like a twisted version of Brian, with arms and legs bending in ways they shouldn't. "You wanted to entertain," it said, its breath smelling like something dead. "Now you're the show." Brian tripped over his chair, trying to get away. He ran for the door, but it was gone. The walls felt like they were closing in. Screens started appearing everywhere. On the walls, the floor, even the ceiling, showing the same thing. Brian, scared out of his mind, and the Veiled One getting closer. The chat came back, but it wasn't normal. It was full of desperate messages, like, "Let us go! Stop the stream! Break the mirror!" Brian grabbed the mirror and threw it to the floor. It broke, but the pieces didn't stay still. They moved, turning into smaller mirrors, each one showing the Veiled One's face. "You can't get away," it said, its voice like a million whispers in his head. "You made us forever." In a panic, Brian yanked out the power cords, hoping to shut everything off. But the screens stayed on, glowing with some kind of awful energy. The Veiled One was right there now, its cold fingers touching his face. "Your fans belong to me," it said. "And you're the first." The stream didn't stop. All over the world, people's screens turned on by themselves, showing Brian's last moments. Him screaming, begging, his eyes turning empty as the Veiled One took him. Anyone who watched couldn't look away, and their devices wouldn't turn off. The viewer count hit millions, each person trapped by the stream. Days later, police found Brian's studio empty. The walls were burned, like something unnatural had been there. The mirror and screens were gone, and all that was left was the black candle, looking like it had never been lit. People online talked about what happened, but any videos of the stream disappeared fast, like someone or something was cleaning up. Still, some people said that late at night, their screens would flicker, and they'd see Brian's face. Not the happy YouTuber, but a hollow version with empty eyes, trying to say something they didn't want to hear. And somewhere, in the endless dark of the internet, the Veiled One waits for someone else to call it.